Hi everyone, happy Friday. I wanted to reflect on our two articles for this week, one being A Nation at Risk, and the other being what A Nation at Risk got wrong and right about U.S. schools. So some of the things that I noted during the reading were the problems and some of the solutions that they come up with and some things that stood out to me. So some of the problems within A Nation at Risk that they addressed were a large blame on the curriculum, especially high school curriculum and their requirements. One of the things that was heavily pushed within the article was that they were lowering the standards. So they would have a standard here, and their standards were originally here. So when we go to have our students meet the standards, they were truly a lower level of standards. They also discussed literacy as a whole and more on the abundance of illiteracy. Again, this was back in the, I believe in the 70s and 80s that they were looking at the different rates of literacy. I also noticed there was some contradiction between the actual focus of reading and having literacy, and then also the higher level thinking skills, which is a lot of what we focus on today. So some of the solutions that they came up with, and I listed a bunch of them, I'm only going to name some, that state and local high school graduation requirements be strengthened. Something I actually noted during this was the requirements that they recommended were the requirements that I actually had going through high school in the late 90s, early 2000s, which was 4 years of English, 3 years of math, 3 of science, 3 of social studies, a half a year of computer science, and 2 years of a foreign language. That was a requirement for me while doing high school. They also stated for a solution that the curriculum for the K-8 should specifically be designed to give a solid base for the study in their later years. This is something I agree with and continue to agree with. They also recommended additional homework for high school students, 7-hour school days, and actually my school has an 8-hour school day. And then there was a recommendation for 200 to 220 days rather than the 180. And time should be spent or made available for to meet the needs of slower learners. So looking into the introduction to special education and it becoming more and more prevalent back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. And then additional training through teacher training through federal funding. So I found a lot of these are still pretty relevant today, but a lot of the blame seems to be on the true education happening in the classroom rather than on things that we may believe are the actual problems. So one other thing that I noted were that people, it was on page 119, people are steadfast in their beliefs that education is the major foundation for the future strength of this country. It's extremely important to one's future success. I think that this really resonated with me because it does, many people still do believe this, but unfortunately with the way our society is nowadays, it also has kind of gone out the window. Some parents just unfortunately don't care about their students' education. This is not true among all, but I have seen it with parents where they're just like, oh, well, they're failing. And it is a shame, but the majority of parents truly do care that their students are successful because they want them to be successful in life. So that's what I've got out of this reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm already over 4 minutes, so let me know what you think. Thanks, guys. Bye.